I'm just going to try to Electro Drift that slot. And Helping Hand even to boost that. And yeah, Porygon 2 just drops. No Trick Room this turn at least. They do get a Stomping Tantrum into Miraidon, but it doesn't do very much. Better late than never, right? This is the team that Luca Ceribelli used to win the World Championship. The greatest VGC tournament that there is, all the way back in the distant past of Year of Our Lord 2024. I was traveling when Worlds was happening, so I was not even able to watch the final live, much less try the team out back then. And by the time I was done and back at my desk, Regulation H was in full swing, so I just dove right into that. Which means that I have not yet tried out the team that won Worlds. Seems like a big oversight on my part, but I get another chance here as Regulation G has come back. And with no major events yet since it returned, Worlds teams are still looking pretty relevant. They are what people are building and iterating on as we head into this second run of the format. So, this team that won Worlds, as you can see, is a well-balanced offensive menace. Built around Specs Miraidon, this being the Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam set that was big at the time, supported by Whimsicott with Tailwind, or alternatively by Farigiraf, stopping opposing priority, able to set Trick Room, though Miraidon doesn't usually want that. But of course, Farigiraf also can turn off an opponent's Trick Room, and it can use Helping Hand to boost Miraidon's damage even higher. Then you also have some matchup pieces on this team. Well, first of all, you have other offensive options, right? Tailwind doesn't support only Miraidon, but also very strong attackers in Rapid Striker Shifu and Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon, which between the two of them complete Fire, Water, Grass Core in just 2 Pokemon. You have all of those coverage on these 2 Pokemon. If you lead one of them with Whimsicott, then you can still have Miraidon in the back to be a menace later in the game. Then there are matchup pieces like Farigiraf, which runs the Water Terra type, and Foul Play to help cover the Ice Rider Calyrex matchup. Like the aforementioned Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon, which is here in part to handle opposing Rillaboom, since Rillaboom is a serious threat to Miraidon's terrain control. And then you have Iron Hands because it just is a Pokemon with incredible stats, especially with the Assault Vest patching up its special defense. Its attack is boosted by the electric terrain that Miraidon sets, so it gets to just be a crazy stat ball. Luca Ceribelli called it the second restricted Pokemon of this team, which of course is not literally the case, but the point is that it might as well be, as strong as one. Able to throw off that fake out, or also just hit extremely hard with its fighting and electric coverage. Running Terra Bug to give this team a little bit more of a matchup against Zamazenta, although with Miraidon, Rapid Striker Shifu, and Hearthflame Mask Ogerpon, you should be able to handle a lot of Zamazenta sets already. Whimsicott is able to be further disruptive with Light Screen and Encore. And that's pretty much it. This is just a strong, like I said, Tailwind offense team with Iron Hands as the stat ball, really pushing this team to the next level. Support from Whimsicott and Farigiraf. If you do want to know more details, including the EV spreads, the creator, Luca Ceribelli, has a very good team report up on Victory Road, which I reviewed a little bit before I hit record here. So you can see the details of the team there, but it's time for me to just get on the ladder and finally give this team a try. I see just today they have removed the Reg H ladders, but we're on to a new era. The future is here with this Miraidon, of course. This is a very strange team right off the bat. They have the Ice Rider Calyrex, but they also have Morpeko and Venomoth. And I don't know what they're getting at in chat there. Okay. So from what I saw in Luca's team report, this team very often leads Miraidon with either Whimsicott or Farigiraf, depending on what kind of support it needs in the matchup. I think Farigiraf might be the call here into Ice Rider Calyrex. I do have to watch out for Tyranitar, although Terra Water Farigiraf can be helpful with that too. I also can lead Ogerpon if I want. That does cover a lot of their Pokemon, but I think what I can do is I can do Miraidon Farigiraf and then Volt switch out to Iron Hands or Ogerpon turn 1 if I want. So we see Rillaboom and Tyranitar. Okay, so by leading Rillaboom, they get terrain control immediately, though I do get my Grassy Seed on Farigiraf. Ooh, but I can't really safely Terra Water in front of this Rillaboom, can I? So maybe what I want to do here is... The problem is I don't have Hadron Engine active. Is that what this ability is called? Yeah. Nonetheless, I might want to just Helping Hand and Volt Switch into Tyranitar and try to get Ogerpon in. Or Iron Hands, either one. We'll see how much this Volt Switch does. But yeah, I could have led Ogerpon to try to catch this Rillaboom in the lead slot. That is definitely a very sensible part of how to play this team, but I didn't do it, and so I lose speed control for now. That Helping Hand boosted Volt Switch only does about half to Tyranitar, and I'm going to go Iron Hands, just because the Tyranitar is making me a little bit nervous about hard switching in Ogerpon, as Iron Hands actually takes a high horsepower immediately and a lot of damage with it, so yeah, that Rillaboom is giving me a lot of trouble already. But at least I didn't bring Ogerpon in on a Rock Slide. I could Terra Bug. That actually would make Iron Hands weak to the Rock Slide, though. Do I want to fake anything out here? Probably not. I think I can just Drain Punch Tyranitar. I mean, it might Terrastallize. Into what type, I'm not sure. I'll try to cover for that with Foul Play. Protects. So I just double targeted into a Protect. Okay. These Miraidon teams, you have to be very precise, and I admit I haven't been great with them before now. I will at least get my terrain back here. But yeah, it definitely takes a certain skill set to play these teams well. I kind of want a Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam. I mean, it's not going to knock out Tyranitar, is it? Well, I can Helping Hand too. Nobody really wants to switch in on that. Maybe Venomoth can, but I think this play is okay here. And I'm still preserving Ogerpon in the back. In fact, I might want to think about switching that in next to help me deal with that Rillaboom. Tyranitar fails to double protect, so we actually get the Dazzling Gleam into 2 dark types and knock both of them out. And yeah, if I switch Miraidon out now, then I can guarantee terrain control. Unfortunately, because I clicked the Fairy Terra there, I'm no longer able to use the Terra Water Farigiraf. So I'll just target a Foul Play into this Calyrex, I think. Air Ground, okay. It takes the Foul Play pretty well, sets Trick Room. I can try to reverse the Trick Room. Don't really know what else I can do at this point. Farigiraf is still at +1 defense. That might come into play here. I could click Follow Me with Ogerpon, but of course that's not redirecting a Glacial Lance. But it would redirect Rillaboom's attack. Hopefully that will not end up making the difference. But ideally, I'd like to preserve Ogerpon here and have that Ivy Cudgel available into Rillaboom after this turn. Okay, Farigiraf survives. That is huge. We get the Trick Room back up. Or, I mean, we remove the Trick Room. We do the opposite of the thing that I said. And I kind of want to Wood Hammer into Calyrex, actually, to make sure they never get their Trick Room back. And I'll Foul Play into Rillaboom. Or I'll try to, at least. They might knock Farigiraf out here. They do, okay. But that gives me Miraidon back on the field with Ogerpon. I actually now don't get the Grassy Terrain boost on Woodhammer, but I think I should be fine to just click Woodhammer and Dazzling Gleam. Make sure I get the damage I need into Calyrex. That does a lot to Rillaboom too. I mean, I'm assuming the Assault Vest was on Tyranitar. High horsepower does not too much to the Fairy-type Miraidon, and we can clean this Rillaboom up now. Alright, so kind of a rough start for me, but this team is just so strong that I was able to pull it back. And we'll move on to the next game. Yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily much of a Miraidon player, but sometimes when you use a World Championship caliber team, it's just so good that you can figure some things out on the fly. Here we've got a Groudon Sun team. Chanpao. presumably here to set Tailwind. I mean, I can do some other stuff too, but I'm sure that's one thing that it's here for. Groudon is actually kind of a weird restricted matchup for this team, huh? I mean, I can Draco Meteor it, or Fairy Dazzling Gleam it. I do think I want to lead Miraidon Whimsicott. Because the thing is, Urshifu is kind of nerfed by the sun. I will still bring Urshifu. But yeah, the sun obviously is an issue for clicking Surging Strikes. And then I think I want either Iron Hands or Ogerpon in the back. As far as which one goes, I feel like Ogerpon has both the best and the worst matchups of the two into this team. Like, Iron Hands has a more even spread into this. I can consider the Terra Bug on Iron Hands, but of course I can't do that and Terra Fairy Miraidon in the same game. I'm going to bring Ogerpon. If nothing else, the Follow Me might come in handy. Okay, so we see Entei and Murkrow. Entei and Murkrow. I'm going to try to get rid of this Murkrow immediately, I think. Go for my Tailwind here. Entei could be clicking Stomping Tantrum into the Miraidon slot. Maybe. I'll go Urshifu. If they don't bring Groudon in, then I'm threatening a lot of damage with the Surging Strikes. They actually knock out Whimsicott. That gives me Miraidon back in for free. We see this Life Orb Entei. There's the Groudon. Alright. I think I want a Terra Fairy. But I also might want to just start clicking Electro Drift into stuff that isn't Groudon. It's a little bit risky, but I think it can work. I'm just going to protect Urshifu this turn, and yeah, I'm going to go straight for an Electro Drift into Entei. Terra Bug Groudon. Okay, now I can Electro Drift that too. And the Protect actually blocks an extreme speed, so that's convenient. Precipice Blades will not even quite do half to Miraidon. Very good. There's Incineroar. Okay, I want to... I think I'll switch to Ogerpon. Oh, right, I don't want to Protect on Miraidon because it has specs. Okay. In that case, I'll click Close Combat into Incineroar and switch this slot out to Ogerpon. Because I don't want to take a Fake Out into a Precipice Blades or something. They Fake Out Urshifu, so that won't get to move this turn, but I should have the two fastest Pokemon now, right? Maybe not. If it's Max Speed Groudon, it's faster than... Actually, Max Speed Groudon is faster than both of these. But you're probably not running Max Speed Groudon. But we'll find out. I'll go for Close Combat and not Woodhammer. It's a Bug type now. Ivy Cudgel. It is faster. Okay. Well, Miraidon might still be able to win this. Yeah, that is a very fast Groudon. Probably Max Speed. Looks like Miraidon didn't win this. Alright, well... maybe I should have anticipated that it would be that fast on this team, but I don't know. I thought I liked my chances there. We move on to the next game. I didn't quite have the offensive pressure that I thought I had, but live and learn. Okay, Lilligant. So another Groudon team. This one has Hisui and Lilligant, of course. I should have terrain control pretty easily, and that'll mean they can't sleep powder my Pokemon. Because electric terrain prevents sleep for all grounded Pokemon, and my entire team is grounded. I think, again, I think Whimsicott Miraidon lead is okay here, although I might want to consider something else. I definitely think I bring Iron Hands to this game. Let's do Miraidon, Whimsicott, Iron Hands, Ogerpon this time. As they lead Tornadus and Groudon, okay. That's pretty dangerous. But I'm just going to go straight for the Dazzling Gleam. Go for my Tailwind. So if they click their Tailwind, Miraidon will still go before Groudon. Or if they click, even if they taunt Whimsicott or something, that still means they don't have Tailwind this turn at least. Johnny Bookworm is taking a moment to think this one through. We do just match Tailwinds, and Dazzling Gleam does not knock out Groudon, but it does good damage. I don't do too much back. Should be in the clear to do this again. I can set a Light Screen or even Encore Tornadus just to be safe. But Miraidon is guaranteed faster than Tornadus, so if it attacks, it'll just get KO'd. So I might as well go for the Light Screen. My opponent is not threatening any damage this turn. Now I can lock Groudon into Protect if I want. There's the Lilligant. I think I am. I'm going to switch out to Ogerpon and lock Groudon into Protect. And that preserves Miraidon from a possible, I don't know, Solar Blade or something. Terraflying Lilligant, okay. After you, but the Groudon has been encored, so that's no good. And I was probably going to click an Ivy Cudgel into Lilligant, boosted by the sun, but there's no need because they forfeit. Offensive team like this, sometimes you get some quick games, right? So we'll see what else the ladder has to offer in the next little bit here. Oh, Duskmane Necrozma. That's not a Pokemon I expected to see today. So this is a hard Trick Room team. More or less. I mean, even the Entei, like, I wonder what the Entei is for exactly on this team. You're not spamming Extreme Speed in Psychic Terrain. Maybe you never bring it with Indeedee, but that's not very flexible then. But I wonder what other role it might have. Maybe just like a tanky fire type that can burn things. Okay, how do I play into hard Trick Room? Well, the Indeedee actually is a bit of a problem because they can turn off my Electric Terrain, even just leading it into Miraidon. I mean, I definitely bring Farigiraf to this game. That much is obvious. I think I want to lead Miraidon Farigiraf. It might be a little bit invulnerable to some Indeedee leads, and it might not be the right call because of that, but I'm just going to try to overwhelm them here, so I'll bring Urshifu and Ogerpon in the last two slots. Maybe this is a game for Iron Hands. I don't know, but this looks like a decent start here. We see one Trick Room setter in the Porygon 2, but not so much supporting it. I'm just going to try to Electro Drift that slot. And Helping Hand even, to boost that. And yeah, Porygon 2 just drops. No Trick Room this turn at least. They do get a Stomping Tantrum into Miraidon, but it doesn't do very much. There's the Ursaluna. I honestly probably can just Electro Drift Entei, right? And win with my Pokemon in the back. Only thing is they might protect Entei. But I'm just going to go for it. And I will Foul Play Ursaluna. I don't think I need a Helping Hand this turn. Entei drops. Trading Miraidon for two of their Pokemon is probably enough here. Two of their Pokemon and denying Trick Room. I'll get Urshifu in. Threaten that Ursaluna. You see the Necrozma in the last slot. And they forfeit. Okay. Onward. Yeah, knocking out that Porygon 2 in one hit there just made it way too difficult for that team to deal with this one. Okay, first Zamazenta of the session. I mean, Miraidon goes kind of crazy, except into Rillaboom and Landorus, and Chanpao to an extent. But even then, with the Fairy Terra, it still has to watch out for Landorus, because those are on poison coverage. It still has terrain control issues, but it can break through a lot of this team. just overwhelm this balance core. I think I'll lead Miraidon Ogre Pawn this time. See if I do catch a Rillaboom in a lead slot this time. And then I kind of want to just... I don't really feel like I need Whimsicott or Farigiraf in this one, so I kind of want to just bring Iron Hands and Urshifu. There's the Landorus and Chien-Pao. Okay. Yeah, that's a rough lead for Miraidon, but I think I'm just going to go straight for the Dazzling Gleam. And try to get rid of this Landorus, because that's a huge offensive threat to my team. Okay, they turn off my terrain. That's not the end of the world. That Dazzling Gleam is still going to do a lot. Yeah, I thought about taking the KO on Chien-Pao instead through the Focus Sash, but I mean, that Landorus looked like it had a Choice Scarf. It could switch out, come back in, click Sludge Bomb into this, or actually just another Earth Power would do a lot, probably. So I think it's for the best that I got rid of Landorus. That said, the Zamazenta is here now. I'm going to pivot out to Iron Hands. I can threaten to fake out into the Chien-Pao. They probably have Terra Ghost, but we'll see if they want to commit to that. But yeah, I'll just preserve Miraidon for now and give myself the chance to get the terrain back up. And what does Zamazenta do? Body Press, so I get chipped a little bit by the Spiky Shield. Do I want to read a Ghost Terra from Chien-Pao? No. I don't want to. Nice. Iron Defense, okay. Not the end of the world, because I still have the best special attacker in the game in the back. Rillaboom could become an issue now. Let's see what I can do to it with this Drain Punch. Can't protect Assault Vest Iron Hands, of course. Fake out that slot. Body Press does a lot. I missed the chance to land a clean Ivy Cudgel into that Rillaboom. And I might actually just lose because of that. Do I want to think about sacrificing Urshifu here and preserving one of these Pokemon? I think probably not, because I think Urshifu's Aqua Jet might be my best answer to Chien-Pao in the end game. It's tough though, because it loses so hard to this Rillaboom. We're just gonna go for it. Oh, I should have targeted Rillaboom. It doesn't matter. I do lose both Pokemon here. I think that was not correct on my part, but I didn't figure it out before the timer. I think I did need to sack Urshifu and preserve probably Ogre Pawn. It's just that probably then drops to a Chien-Pao Sucker Punch later, and it's kind of hard to see how I convert that. But I don't think I convert this. Oh well. Win some, lose some. Oh, Chien-Pao's back. Makes sense, they can get the Rillaboom back in. It's Grass Zamazenta. Okay, I don't know if I was ever beating that. That still does a lot, actually. But we dropped to the +3 Body Press there. Let's see if I can pick up the Chien-Pao before the game's over. Yeah, so I brought all my offense looking to just break through and overwhelm them. Maybe I needed Whimsicott to deny something like the Iron Defense setup with Encore, but or take advantage of it at least, if not deny it. But yeah, I mean, those Zamazenta teams are so optimized to not break against offense, and oh man, I'm really not looking forward to this one. Okay, Mewtwo Size Spam. This could easily be like weak armor, weakness policy Armourouge with a Scarf Annihilate to activate it. Although with Screamtail on the team, it might be actual bulk up Mouse Ape stuff. But then what does the Armourouge do? The Armourouge could have a Scarf, I guess. I mean, at least I have a terrain setter. That's nice in this matchup. For sure. So I have some tools here. I'm gonna do Whimsicott, Ogre, Pawn, lead. I can just click Ivy Cudgel into most of this team, and I have Miraidon in the back, and I can switch it in, and turn off their Psychic Terrain. And then honestly, there's a case for Terra Bug Iron Hands here, but I think Farigiraf is the real answer because I can chip stuff at least with Foul Play and Psychic Noise. It's immune to Rage Fist. It resists Expanding Force. Alright, Mouse Ape lead. Okay. I think I'll just go straight for Tailwind and Ivy Cudgel into Mousehold. If I can remove that quickly, then the Annihilate becomes a lot less threatening. It could potentially Encore it into a Bulk Up, or... I mean, even if I just deny a Beat Up here, that's good. It still could be Scarf Annihilate, I'm just guessing, based on the rest of the team, that it isn't. But there are kind of clues both ways. I just think the Screamtail is here to enable a more conventional Mouse Ape setup. But maybe I get punished if I'm wrong, we'll see. Even then, though, getting the Tailwind up, Ogre Pawn should be the next Pokemon that moves. Okay, that doesn't KO. About to go for Beat Up. So look at a big Rage Fist. Yeah, I remove my Ogre Pawn. Alright, that's not ideal, but I get Miraidon here. And I think I can just Dazzling Gleam. It could be Terra Fire Annihilate. Why is the game not progressing? Did it break? Did one of us DC? Did I DC? Doesn't usually happen. I don't know what's going on. But while I wait to find out. Yeah, I could Dazzling Gleam. It could be Terra Fire Annihilate. That would put me in a pretty bad spot. But if I lose to that one specific thing, so be it, I guess. Not much else I can do in this position. I'm gonna refresh the tab because I think I might have DC'd or something. Oh, did I just forfeit by doing that? What's going on? Couldn't connect to the server. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording and come back when I can. Okay, I think I'm back. Don't know what happened there, but definitely not counting that game as the third loss for this video. Unless I can't get a new one. Then I might change my mind. Looks like we're up and running again. If not very smoothly. Okay. Pretty typical Ice Rider stuff here. Let's try this duo. Again, I can try to snipe the Rillaboom if they lead with it. We'll definitely bring Farigiraf to this. And probably a decent game for Iron Hands. I think that's probably the call here. Okay. They lead Ogerpon and Calyrex against my Miraidon and Ogerpon. Not really what I want to see. They probably do some Follow Me Trick Room stuff here. And okay, let them... no, I meant Volt Switch. Let them do it. Should knock out Ogerpon at least. If it does click Follow Me. Oh, they actually switched Calyrex out. To block my Volt Switch. Yeah, that's smart. Okay. That puts me on the back foot immediately, doesn't it? I can try to Volt Switch Ogerpon this turn, and I will. I am risking a Spiky Shield, but Actually, I can make that safer with a fake out into Ursaluna. Because then if they spiky shield, at least Ursaluna doesn't get to knock out Miraidon. Instead, I'm Volt switching into Rillaboom. They have, of course, removed my main Rillaboom check. Maybe they read the team report too, or maybe that one's just not hard to figure out. They're now threatening their own fake out, and they can Earth Power or normal attack. I think the Terra Bug Iron Hands is probably worth it here. I also think I kind of have to just get Miraidon. Farigiraf out of here. Although I really don't want to switch Miraidon in here. So let's instead Helping Hand, Terra Bug, Low Kick, try to get rid of this Ursaluna. Oh, and they can't fake out because I have Farigiraf, Armor Tail, so yeah, never mind. I worried about that for nothing. Terra Bug coming in clutch into those two newly resisted attacks. Take out Ursaluna. Maybe Drain Punch would have been better to keep Iron Hands healthy, but... Oh, and Iron Hands is going to be weak to the Ivy Cudgel now. That's pretty awkward. That's kind of a problem. Still don't want to bring Miraidon in on that. Yeah, probably just am too far behind at this point, but... Let's see if I can manage not to be. Alright, yeah, I'll get Miraidon back in with pretty much guaranteed no terrain control. And we'll just smoothly lose this one. Well... Oh, and I've already terrestrialized, so I can't even do the Fairy Dazzling Gleam stuff now. I could just spam Draco Meteor and hope I get a bunch of crits. Let's foul play and let's lock into Dazzling Gleam anyway. No stab, but it's probably still the most reliable move in this position. Calyrex turns into a water type. Unfortunately, I have closed myself off to the possibility of using an electric attack for the rest of this game. And that Glacial Lance will just about do it. Yeah, so... we definitely had some fun with Miraidon. And all these other offensive pieces around it today, but... Safe to say I don't know how to play this kind of team seriously into the bulkier Zamazenta and Ice Rider matchups. That's okay. People click with different restricted Pokemon. Some people find Miraidon teams very easy to pick up, but I think it's, if I'm being serious, it's not the restricted Pokemon for me. And hopefully that will play out as I try some other restricted Pokemon on this channel. But it's always fun to use a major tournament winning team, and nothing beats trying out the team that won the literal World Championship. I might not have piloted this team optimally, but you can see how strong it is. And if we're dwelling on the losses this video, it's in part because there were some very quick wins in between that didn't give us the same kind of time to dwell on them. But yeah, ton of firepower on this team, a lot of fun to use, and again, you can read Luca Cheribelli's team report on Victory Road and get all of the details there.